Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome in. Snaps, T-Bob, and Aaron. Oh, I butchered this. This is Snaps Podcast. So we're a college football show. T-Bob Hebert, Aaron Murray. We are reacting here and breaking down a lot of the action from the first Saturday of the college football season. Earlier, you can go check it out on our YouTube channel that, well, you're probably on right now, youtube.com/volume-snaps. We reacted live to the stunning debut of Colorado. We'll discuss that here a bit as well. We'll get into Carson Beck and his first time under center for the Bulldogs, a little Penix power for Washington. I'm going to give you some day one Heisman standings, and I got a lot of other thoughts that we'll just probably bebop around and get to. And look, we just taking your comments and everything else throughout the show as well. Aaron, what's up, man? So earlier, Aaron actually pushed himself against the clock, stayed for the beginning of the Colorado show. I had to run to go call the Georgia game, and now the hardest working man in show business is back at the hotel, ready to do yet another show. Aaron, what's up, dude? You did great on the Georgia call. How you feeling?
Thank you. Oh, man, I pushed it to the limit because drove from downtown to the stadium, and by the time we got to the stadium, the roads were blocked. So luckily, Sharon was amazing. Sharon dropped me off, so then I had to kind of ignore a bunch of people as they started screaming for pictures. I'm like, I am so late to the game right now. I'm gonna get fired if I'm even like I was supposed to be there at 3:30, and it was like 4:20. I was like, oh god, this ain't good.
Be there at 3:30, and you got there at 4:20.
It was like I got there like at 4:30.
Oh my!
Hopefully none of my
God,
bosses at ESPN are watching this and I get in trouble. But I got there. We made great. Yeah, for the boys, for the Snap boys, and we had a really good broadcast. So yeah, stressing a little bit. And then Sharon had to drive the big old truck, which she hates driving. There's no parking spots where our designated spot was at. So then she had to do like this crazy off-roading through essentially trees in a path. And she hates driving the truck already, so that was fun. So I'm getting calls from her like, I can't talk right now because I don't know what's going to parking. So like, I'm already stressing out about being late. Then she can't find a parking spot. I'm like, bro, we made it up. We made it.
Okay, exactly. So just everybody listening, or if you watched earlier, just know that's how hyped Aaron was on what you saw out of Colorado today, and that's how much he loves everybody who likes Snaps, is that he went through all that insanity. Let's talk about Colorado. Deion Sanders, shoot, Brum. Okay, Brum, I'm sorry to do this on air, but I forgot to get this tell this to you. If you go in the side piece, you will see, or you just go to Next Round Live's Twitter. You can see some highlights from Deion Sanders post game that I think I want to play here. But Aaron, and by the way, what's up, Cameron Scholl? What's happening? Dogfather, String Gene, Chris Kegel, Just Furtado, everybody else hanging out in here. Just Furtado says, inject prime in my veins. I agree. I think that's how we both kind of felt earlier. Aaron, what were you most impressed with, most blown away with what you saw at Colorado today?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and I brought this up last week with you of what I want to see from Colorado, were we going to see quality of the football in the sense of like teamwork, cohesion. I've talked too much. Like cohesion on both sides of the football where units were working together. Was the offensive line going to be able to protect the quarterback? Was the defensive line and going to work in unison with the secondary and the linebackers? Like, or were you going to see a bunch of guys just roaming around looking like backyard football? And to me, watching the football game, it didn't look like, and I thought you kind of brought this up a little bit earlier, T, it didn't look like a team that just been put together 6 months ago. That looked like a team, a well-oiled machine that was ready to go play on the road in a hostile environment against a team that was in the national championship last year. Like, I thought it was, and it's week one. That's the thing. Like, this is week one where we've seen, I mean, I just saw a Georgia game. The defending national champs that returned the majority of their roster, and it was sloppy. It was sloppy. We've seen sloppy after sloppy. Of all the teams that should have played sloppy today, it should have been Colorado because of all the change. And yet they may have been the least sloppiest team of the weekend. That's kudos to Prime, man. That is what jumped off to me.
Bilbo T back into S-Snaps. Is TCU overrated more than Colorado's underrated? No, again, I think this is more about Colorado.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem fluky, and we'll get to why. But no, look, I still think TCU is going to be pretty good. Like TCU didn't play poorly.
Yeah.
Defensively they did, and I'm not sure how good the defense is going to be. But like I don't know. I thought the offense was fine. I think TCU. I think TCU's a dumb pick to win the Big 12 that I did. But like they're not going to be just some awful team that falls off the falls off a cliff. Like it's a legit win from Colorado. To me, there are three things that really blew me away, and that I would have never fathomed they would have worked as well as they did. The first is everything you just mentioned, the execution. I mean, 5 penalties for 65 yards, where TCU I think ends up with like 12 for over 100 yards of penalties. It's so the execution, the cohesion of the team, the toughness of the team, trading punches when TCU, believing the belief. So I would describe all that as kind of that's all in one of the buckets that blew me away. The second bucket that blew me away was Shedeur Sanders. We mentioned earlier this week. I was like, look, I think his stats are incredible. On the FCS level. And we were like, I mean, how much of this will really transfer over, right? Like he's not going to throw over like 4,000 yards. Maybe it's like 3,500 or something. Okay, well, he came out here day one and threw for 510 and 4 touches. And how about this, Aaron? 4 receivers with over 100 yards. 4 receivers with at least 5 catches and over 100 yards. So actually, before we get to my third bucket, you break down as the resident quarterback show. What did you see out of Shedeur Sanders?
Well, I saw a guy that was in complete command, and early on in the football game was taking what the defense gave him, and wasn't going to say, "Hey, I'm going to come make a mark early on and kind of set the world on fire by trying to push the ball vertically down the field." And he underthrew the first one. I mean, Travis clearly beat the receiver in the first quarter. He underthrew it.
Yeah.
But from there, it was just like, man, dink and dunk. Take what the defense gives me. And he's not his dad. He's not a hell of an athlete where he's going to blow you away with his speed.
He can't.
But there's a couple of times where he showed some wiggle and the ability to get out of pressure and extend the play and throw on the run. So, kind of the boxes I checked. Maturity with taking care of the football.
Yep.
Decision making was incredible. Like I said, just taking what the defense gave him. The ability to be creative inside the pocket without having to be a 4.5, 4.6 guy. The downfield throws were great. He checked every box. I mean, he looked like a superstar. He looked like a superstar.
It's really it's almost it's not inexplicable. I mean, because you fucking watch this, you know how it happened. But it's just like it's so beyond what I would have ever expected. And to me, so I was talking about this earlier, and after you left, but like my old man played quarterback in the league forever. And the things that he has always talked about, if you want to be a great quarterback, there's 2. It's decision making first and accuracy, right? I don't care about arm strength, anything like that. Do you know where you're supposed to go with the ball? And then once you're at that target, can you place it where it needs to be? And Shedeur Sanders gets a 9 out of 10, maybe like 10 out of 10 on both those marks this game. And speaking of knowing where to go with the ball, I mean, to go back to what I'm talking about. So you have Dylan Edwards, 5 catches, 135 yards, 3 touches. Travis Hunter, 11 catches, 119 yards. Xavier Weaver, 6 catches, 118 yards. Jimmy Horn Jr., 11 catches, 117. So just where, like you said, wherever the weakness was, his film study, his knowledge of the game, which is obviously elite, obviously is taking advantage of having a father like Deion Sanders to kind of teach him how to break down the game, how to watch film. I know a lot of people in chat told me, I didn't realize this. He's actually being mentored by like Tom Brady a bit. And he's like, talked to Brady a lot. So whatever, these people he's got to rub shoulders with, it's paid off. He's put in the work, and he was seeing it, man. He was perfect today, and it leads to a legendary win. And and what I was going to say too, Aaron, so he's got the decision-making, he throws a good ball, but then what you were talking about, and maybe you can explain this a bit further. I feel like he does a good job of like pocket manipulation, right? Like helping out his O-line, where he's able to and Burrow, I think, was maybe the best I ever saw this guy.
Burrow's very good at this.
He's able to stay like cognizant of how all the interlocking pieces on the line are kind of flowing and working while still knowing how to keep his eyes downfield and find the right guy. It's the mental processing power is just kind of astounding.
Well, I think the best play of that was when he kind of did the spin move to the left and bought some time, then stopped, allowed the offensive lineman to continue to push the defensive lineman to the sideline. He came back around and then threw the ball in the run for about a 15, 20-yard gain. So, it's that sixth sense we talk about from the quarterback where you can kind of feel leverage and understand how to move around it. And not a lot of guys have that ability. They see pressure, they feel pressure, and they get out of there right away. Where he can kind of feel that, like Bro did, feel that, like, hey, my left guard or left tackle might have missed, his block to the inside a little bit, but I'm not going to freak out and just run out of there. It's a quick, subtle move, and I think that's what Tom Brady was good at, and what made Tom Brady, for being a 5'4" guy, as good as he was in the pocket. It was the subtle movement. It was the quick step up and out. It was the to the right, to the left. Let me buy that quick second to be able to keep my eyes down the field and throw it. And it takes a mature quarterback, and obviously a very skilled quarterback like Sherrod showed us tonight or this afternoon what he's capable of doing. So they have weapons. They have a ton of weapons. This is going to be the only question.
And their offensive line is better than we thought they were going to be.
They are, but the running the ball was a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, and it's going to be that. It's probably,
and that's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
But again, everything that you just said about Shedeur, though, helps to mask some of the weakness of that offensive line, which, I mean, it just proves how much quarterback matters. Watch it as we talk about today's show, like today's action, the consistent theme is going to be who's the better quarterback. Okay, that team won the game, right? Like we just watched South Carolina, UNC. Even though
Rattler had better stats, like I called it. I told you I was going to have better stats.
Okay, hold the fuck on. I'll give Rattler a pass. I'll give Rattler a pass though, because the offensive line for South Carolina
was horrendous.
Okay, let's get into some of these chats. So Brian Irwin asked Snaps, is Travis Hunter going to put himself in the Heisman race? He is him. So that's my third bucket, right? You said 3 buckets impressed me. The overall just cohesion and execution. Because that speaks to great coaching. And so many people accuse Deion of being all flash and no substance. But we have been adamant on this show that there is substance. It's an NFL Hall of Famer who's won Super Bowls. He knows how to win at every level of football. His resume at Jack State showed you he could do it on the coaching level. And once again, he proves to be a great football coach. So that's bucket 1. Bucket 2 is Shedeur Sanders. Bucket 3 is something I've never seen before, and it's Travis Hunter. And I'm in on Travis Hunter for the Heisman right now. For that man to Instagram a picture saying Heisman loading, then go out there and put up over 100 yards receiving, big-time pick, big-time PBUs, play 130
almost made a couple more picks too. Yeah.
130 snaps in that heat. It's insane. And it was the timeliness of the plays. You mentioned it earlier, Aaron. He saves the 78-yard run from becoming a 97-yard touchdown run. A few plays later, he falls it over the incredible anticipation pick. Then how about this? When they're trading punches late, the second time TCU goes up with a score, Colorado's facing 3rd and 16. Shedeur throws a jump ball to Travis Hunter. What's he do? He fucking mosses the guy. And then he gets another 15-yard catch to lead to the It's just, I've never, and it's going to help him, because that is unicorn shit. No one else does that. That is Ohtani type stuff. He's already in the Heisman.
Where's he better at? Where is he better at?
I think I agree with the broadcast, where I think an elite corner is harder to find, like someone who's as good as corner him. What I want to pick your brain on, Aaron, because
he's such a good receiver, though.
I know
he has such a good receiver.
Well, so that's why it gets awesome, though, because it's almost like he has like hidden knowledge, because he understands both positions so intimately that he can use that knowledge to help him on the other side. Like he knows what he doesn't like as a corner, so he knows how to do that as a receiver, and vice versa. So he knows, like, point. And I think that's why he got that pick. He knows these route combinations. He saw it before it happened. Should it be possible for him to keep up that workload? Probably not. But like I said earlier, Star Wars tells us there's always a bigger fish, right? Like there's always one person who can do shit that nobody else can do. And that's Travis Hunter here after week 1.
He is as advertised. That's for sure. I know one guy that we weren't afraid was going to be able to make plays was him. I didn't know it was going to be to that level. And like you alluded to, play 100 and whatever it was, 20, 30 snaps it's just unheard of in today's game. And And the other thing that makes it more impressive, let's not forget, both these offenses were going up tempo. So it's
Yeah.
not like Travis Hunter had the ability to like have a play and just take a quick
True.
breath and there's 20 or 30
True.
seconds before the next play. Like both these offenses were lightning fast. It was snap the ball, play, next play. Snap the ball, play. Like, it was go, go, go. And then you flip it over to TCU side when you're playing defense, and it's the same thing. They were no huddle, up tempo, get to line of scrimmage, and there was never a moment for him just to take a breath unless he went to the sideline. That makes it even harder.
It's and that's another thing that Prime should get credit for. That was a well-conditioned Colorado team. Now Travis Hunter's conditioning must be just on like an alien
training
level.
altitude.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess so, but I just thought they were gonna wilt in that heat. And admittedly, the defense kind of did, but I'm like, that's kind of to be expected because that heat is fucking brutal. What's unexpected is a guy like Travis Hunter making that Moss play was on the 3rd and 15. That was like play like 106 for him when he made it too. So the three things that just blew me away for Colorado. What a statement. Shout out Randy Cross. He was right. Let's see some of these comments here. Josephine third, everyone get your prime ball washing out of your system before they start playing real teams. I mean, that's the thing though. That was a sustainable product, what you saw today. It wasn't fluky. I'm not saying they're going to win every game, but they're not an easy out for anybody. They're going to be in every game.
They're going to get you paid. They're going to get T-Bob. That play today is going to get T-Bob paid, and that team will continue to get even better. The thing that's going to hurt them from being a bowl team based on what we saw today, because now that's the discussion. Can they get 6 wins? And I think the way they played today, I think that's a real thing.
It's going to tell me you don't feel like they're going to be the shit out of Nebraska now. Like,
I think they're going to be the shit out of Nebraska.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Nebraska can keep up. I don't think they can keep up, dude.
I mean, they're going to be 3-0 before they face Oregon.
Yeah.
You can find 6 wins on that schedule all of a sudden if they play like the way they play today.
I agree.
There's nothing better, though, than the entire day of watching TV. The amount of every game that I'm watching, the amount of Deion Sanders commercials I saw today.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen anything like that either. When you go to break.
He owns college football. He owns college football right now.
So String Gene said Prime Blue chance to act like you've been there. Justin Furtado says Prime will never act like that. He always pisses people off, but he don't give a shit. He does not give a shit. In fact, it says over a minute long. But you probably you want to see this if you haven't yet. Here is Deion Sanders talking that. And by the way, the actual post-game interview with him and Shedeur and Travis was awesome. But here's Deion Sanders on the podium post-game talking that shit.
Shedeur broke a single.
For real? Shedeur Sanders from HBCU?
Absolutely.
The one that played at Jackson last year?
The one that played at Jackson State last
The one that you asked me, why would I give him the starting job? But like not you. I got receipts. I know who they are. We're gonna continuously be questioned because we do things that have never been done. That's the way our life has presented themselves. We do things that have never been done, and that makes people uncomfortable. When you see a confident black man sitting up here talking his talk, walking his walk, coaching 75% African Americans in the locker room, that's kind of threatening. Oh, they don't like that. But guess what? We're going to consistently do what we do because I'm here and ain't going nowhere. And I'm about to get comfortable in a minute. And just what we accomplished out there today, ain't none of y'all believe that. Maybe a couple of y'all that knew me and know how I get down. They know I'm a winner. We're going to end up winning. Ain't none of y'all thought you was going to be sitting up here. You supposed to be on the other side, interviewing that or coming and asking me, well, what happened? You said this and you said that. Yeah? Now what? Now what? Everybody quiet now. Now what? What's up, boss? You believe now? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Oh no. I read through that bull junk you wrote down. I read through that. I sifted through all that. Yeah. Oh no. Come on. Do you believe? You don't believe. You just answered it. You don't believe. Next question.
Oh my God, dude. That there is so much good there. I would say this. Look, it's funny because the part where he talks about, you know, like a confident black man up here kind of talking that shit, basically. A lot of people are gonna react to that and be like, that's wrong. And they're not going to realize that in their angry reaction, they're actually proving exactly what Deion's talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you don't like that shit. You can't handle that he's just oozing confidence and self-belief. And if you watch this Colorado team, they felt like that. Like, they felt like the bullies. Why did this shitty Colorado team that was 1-11 last year, how in the world did they feel like the bullies against the team that played in the national championship? Because of Deion.
You can't tell me every top recruit in the country that watched college football today and then watches that isn't saying, when am I going to take my trip to Boulder, Colorado?
Bro, I want to go play for Deion.
Who doesn't? I said this as soon as he got his job. Every mom and dad that grew up watching Deion is saying, hey, kid, hey, son, let's go take a trip to Colorado. I want to go meet Deion. I trust Deion. I want you to be coached by Deion. He will win the room every time. Every time he's going to win the room. Recruits, transfers, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, everyone loves Deion.
Dude, when he did the full-on about what happened, the white guy voice was incredible. Do you know how swaggy it would be? You know how much fun it would be to be like a white lineman on this team right now? I almost wish I could go back.
How about the white safety? How about the white safety with the pick?
Hold it
down. The only returner from last year.
That's how I always argue with people that representation matters. When they're like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, I bet you get pretty hyped on white running backs. Huh? Yeah, because it matters. It's just shit.
Well, that's why I worry about Nebraska's defense.
I know. But
I'm watching Nebraska's team. I was like, my goodness.
I feel like that is an unspoken rule of a lot of people and friends that I've played or that have played in the SEC. Is like the white guy rule. If you have too many white guys on defense, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, it's the white safety alert. I learned about that in Kansas City. Even the NFL is like, if we knew that if there was a white DB on the field, we called it white safety alert. Like, hey, we're going after him. Yeah, we're going after him. He's gonna have a long day. He's gonna have a long day.
So shout out Deion Sanders, man. Talk that shit. I believe Deion for whatever that's worth. I'm about to get comfortable. Was a hell of a line as well, dude. I can't wait. All right, so that's Colorado. So much good. And again, if you want like we talked for like an hour earlier on just Colorado. Pork rinds, I believe Deion's new face college football coaching recruiting. He could be. Yeah, the recruiting thing's interesting because recruiting had been a bit slow to this point. And well, it ain't
because people I think they just need to see could he actually win.
Yeah.
Now that you've kind of proven that a little bit, it's like, all right. Beautiful place.
All right, now let's move on to the game you just called, Aaron Murray. Georgia UT Martin, I believe.
Yes.
There's a nice window there where I got to watch that as the main game before Georgia started to pull away. Aaron, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of enjoying a little bit of the dog melt. As this entire offseason, I've been talking about Beck and Bobo, hammering that is like, that's the question. That's the question. And you wouldn't guess it from just looking at the final numbers or score.
No.
But the early returns, sorry, I want to be clear about this. UGA is going to be held to a different standard, as they should be. They are attempting to do something that has never been done before. So what can be good for 95% of teams can be shit for Georgia. And so with that as the context, as the kind of the lens, the beginning of this game looked pretty shit for Mike Bobo and Carson Beck. Like, people were pissed on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, people were furious. I mean, but if you didn't watch the game, just look at the stats. It's like, Carson was 21 of 31 for 294 yards and a touchdown. They ran for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, you're like, that must have been a great game. They only gave up 7 points. Like, it's a dominant victory to get the season going. It didn't feel like that at all. I mean, the game there was no rhythm on offense in the first half.
No.
It didn't feel good. And I agree. Like, they're going to be put to a different standard. But it's funny, you look at all the top teams this weekend, and they all had some issues early on. Like, Michigan wasn't blowing anyone out. Ohio State had issues. We'll get to Ohio State. Ohio State wasn't rolling early. They really didn't roll at all. Right. Even Alabama. I mean, I was looking at Alabama. It was like almost towards the end of the half. I know they scored a couple late. It was 14-0 midway through the second quarter for Alabama. Yeah. I mean, like, new quarterback, getting some feelers out there for some situations. Obviously, new coordinators from both Alabama and Georgia. Then all of a sudden, third, fourth quarter, you kind of got to see those teams feel better about it. But I will say this: it took Carson 2 quarters to start demonstrating what he could do, and really the first throw where I was like, okay, there's the Carson that I kind of think he could be. It was a post deep cross concept. Safety got deep. He ripped the deep cross. I was like, all right, that's what he can do. And there's a couple missed opportunities too. Like Dom Lovett dropped a couple passes that he normally would catch based on some of the stuff you saw from him last year at Missouri. Ladd McConkey wasn't playing. That's a big key to that offense. If anything, honestly, I wasn't thrilled with Carson. I kind of give him like a C+ on the day, just because I'm going to hold him to a higher standard. But I thought the offensive line was average.
Yeah,
and we've hyped this offensive line off all season. Like, this is the offensive line that is this major chip on the shoulder that they've been kind of gypped from the Joe Moorhead Award, and they couldn't move UT Martin off the ball.
Yeah,
that was the more disappointing thing for me walking away from the game. It wasn't Carson, it wasn't Bobo. It was more this offensive line who's been kind of flexing, didn't flex at all, in my opinion, tonight.
Well, and it's like you may not have an elite back to help them, right? They're going to have to help the backs more than the backs are going to be able to help them, at least right now.
Yeah, but they're getting hit in the backfield, though. There's a difference between like a back not being able to explode 4 or 5 yards down the field and a back getting hit in the backfield.
No, I agree. I just simply mean that, like, if you just have a great running back, they can make you right. Like, even if you suck, they can make you look better versus where this O-line's going to have to be better if this running back room is going to be effective. T. Pelzy, I kind of agree with this comment from T. Pelzy. He looked nervous. Hopefully that was just a first start thing. I texted it earlier. It gave off a very he seemed to give off kind of a timid energy at the beginning of that game.
He just has no... like Stetson was emotional, man. Like Stetson wore his emotions on his sleeve. Like, you always knew how Stetson was feeling. Like, and he'd get pissed off and he would be bitching and moaning on the sideline. Like, I've been around Carson enough and talking with the staff this week that he doesn't have a pulse. And I think that's what is I wouldn't say concerning, but for the people on the outside looking in, it's like, does he not care, or is he nervous, or is he stoned? Like, what is it? Because it just looks like it looks flatlined. It just looks flatlined. But that's his personality. And Kirby's like, I don't hate it because I kind of know what I'm going to get from him. He's never going to get too high. He's never going to get too low. He's just, Carson's here, man. It's just, that's it.
It's
I don't know if that's good or not, but
so
there's room for improvement.
Weird. It's not good or bad. I mean, like, you see guys who are stoic and great, and like you said, guys who wear the hearts of the sleeves great. It's just that when you don't look great, then we're going to, like, everything is going to take on a harsher glare because of the standards you're being held to. And so you just interpret things differently, right? Like, I could be completely just kind of connecting dots and just maybe he's not nervous at all. I don't know. I wouldn't be overly
I'm sure there was some nerves, though. I mean, he said it in the postgame.
Sure.
Like, this was his first time starting a football game in 4 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. It's a
long time.
And even Joe Burrow talked about that back in the day, how weird that was for him after sitting out for so long, finally getting started. So look, I wouldn't panic, Georgia fans. It's
defense looked good, as they should have, but
I mean, come on, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I don't care about what the defense did against UT Martin. I don't care. See, that's what sucks about these cupcake games. I don't care about anything good. The only thing that stands out is all the bad. Even though, actually, we can talk a little A&M later. I kind of like them today. We'll talk about it. But
hey, I told you, baby, they got some studs.
Well, I feel like we've been pretty. I feel like me and you have been pretty much on the same page with A&M. We've had him consistently third in the West. I would say.
What are you more concerned with? Because I want to roll this quietly into the Ohio State conversation. Were you more concerned with quarterback play for Georgia, or are you more concerned about quarterback play for Ohio State? Obviously, Ohio State played I would say, more quality opponent.
I would say Ohio State just because I already think that Ohio State's probably more beatable because they've proven to be more beatable in the past, right? So, like, there's an Ohio State team today that did not look like one that would that's going to fight for a playoff. It looks like, that's an Ohio State team today that I feel pretty good about my call that Notre Dame's going to beat them in South Bend.
I'm with you.
After today.
I'm with you. I don't think they. I think you may see Ohio State team that's 9-3 this year the way they play today.
But I think there's a common theme here, right? Look at all the favorites that we just hand waved away, them working in new quarterbacks. All were relatively not strong days, all won by big numbers. But like I think about Ohio State, Georgia, and then like you said, Alabama, which I get to watch Alabama's closely yet, so I don't want to go too hard down there.
Yeah,
but it felt like all three of them kind of struggled a bit working in those new faces.
Well, Jalen ended up having a good day. I mean, he had 5 total touchdowns. So I mean, he ended up kind of balling out. I want to watch the film later. That's one I haven't seen yet. So I'll save some comments for our late night show tomorrow or on Monday about my thoughts on him. But Kyle McCord, watching him, I thought you once saw someone who looked nervous to me. Talking about Carson, I thought McCord, he looked more nervous and things were happening too fast. But also, let's remember that was his first game starting. It was on the road too in a conference game. And I know Indiana has nothing to kind of hold your chest up high that you won the football game, but it's still it's your first game, high expectations, and you're on the road. But it looked like things were happening a little bit too fast.
Jamie Cable says SEC buckle up, Milrow. Yeah, I mean, look, I guess out of those, Milrow probably did look the best. And what does this say? Okay, yeah, that's what I just read. As far as Georgia, I had one more team that I wanted to. Yeah, I didn't watch all of Michigan today, actually. So I did see them line up for their fallen coach, though, which I thought was kind of funny as he serves a voluntary suspension. Okay, so that was Carson Beck in Georgia. Again, a lot of time to fix it, no panic, but not maybe as sharp or as impressive as I think a lot of dog fans would have hoped. As evidence, just put Mike Bobo into the Twitter engine. And just if you just want to sit back and just read anger, just put Mike Bobo in the Twitter engine and go check it out.
Well, lastly on Ohio State, we somewhat hit it, and I think the team you want to talk about is you want to gloat on your Penix, man.
Yep.
It is time to panic on Ohio State. I do think I'm not going to panic on Georgia because I think they're still better than everyone else on their schedule. So where Ohio State and Notre Dame they played Tennessee State today, so not like wow, but they've been impressive.
They've as good as you could against that team.
Yes, and then obviously Michigan we already had as the favorite to win that conference anyways. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of looking at Ohio State right now, and they were my 4 team in the playoffs when we posted that the other day. I'm not feeling really good about that. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
it's damn sure.
You think Ryan Day's going to take back play calling duties from Brian Hartline?
Oof.
Because I mean that is like one of these subtopics in the Ohio State gumbo right now. Is
I'd rather him take it back than Jimbo take it back. That's for damn sure.
Well, don't give it back to Jimbo because
don't give it back to Jimbo.
They're my other thoughts, and A&M kept it so simple, and you're like, oh yeah, duh, this makes sense. They're like, oh wait, shit, we just have way better athletes. We're just gonna fucking throw bombs, and oh wait, it keeps working. Oh wow, imagine that, Jimbo. So speaking of throwing bombs, how about my guy Michael Penix Jr., aka the most fun player to watch in the country, maybe the most fun team to watch in the country. I mean, beautiful uniforms. All they do is big plays. They've got elite, dangerous weapons. And again, I know this is just me being dumb, but there's something about a giant lefty with just a fucking rocket launcher that I just love. It's like when you see Brad Pitt on screen in a movie. He's just so hot that it's like, man, that is awesome. Like when I see Michael Penix Jr. launch a fucking deep ball, I get the same feeling when I see Brad Pitt's abs in Fight Club. It just it makes me so happy.
Makes me so happy.
But I mean, look, and it was kind of a slow start, but the second quarter they explode for 28. They end up running Boise out of the stadium, 56-19, 5 touchdown passes for Penix, 450 yards. That Washington team had a lot of questions about, are they worth the hype? I'm feeling pretty damn good about my Huskies today.
How was the first quarter though? I mean, they're down 6-0, and then it was like 9-6, I believe, and you're kind of like, ooh, what's going on? And then, like you said, then all of a sudden bombs away, and then you look up and it's 28, whatever it was, 28-7 at halftime, and you're like, all right, that's the Washington team, or 28-12. That's the Washington team that we were kind of expecting.
Yeah.
He looked phenomenal, but so did Caleb. Caleb had another good day too. I mean, the Pac-12 this year, Oregon looked dominant. I mean,
USC sucks, dude. Michael Penix Jr. is gonna eviscerate USC. He's gonna fucking burn them down like when like a.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? So if you want to go conference by conference, because most of the big schools had cupcake games, the Big Ten teams were slow to start off. Like Michigan wasn't dominant.
Yeah.
Ohio State wasn't dominant. You look at the SEC. Georgia was obviously very slow. Alabama was slow and kind of kept the same half.
They lost
Texas was slow. And you look at these Pac-12 teams. All of them have been coming out guns blazing.
I know.
To start the season off with. Like, how much does that continue to piss off Pac-12 fans that like your teams are kicking ass to start the season and quarterback play too?
Emil says in the chat, Pac-12 going full rocket launchers on Ascension in its series finale. I mean, they are just fucking. But they saved the best for last, dude.
Yes.
But how about this? We spent a lot of the offseason talking about that receiving core for Washington. Rome Odunze, 7 catches, 132 touchdown. Jalen Polk, 3 catches, 101 touchdown. Jalen Millen, 8 catches, 95, 2 touchdowns. Jack Westover, 5 catches, 59, 1 touchdown. And he threw another touchdown to a 4th player because why not? Because elite quarterbacks know what to do. They know where to go to the ball. They spread the ball around. Michael Penix Jr. is fucking awesome, dude. And I just love Washington's uniforms. Something about it.
They are beautiful.
Maybe I just like purple so much. I don't know. Aaron, I think what I want to do now, I want to do some day one Heisman standings, and then I want to get into just other general thoughts from all of college football, be a little like quick hitting thing. Maybe we should bring back maybe not tonight because we didn't plan for it. We might need to bring back Snips and Snaps. I kind of like Snips and Snaps. How we used to do it last year.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Heisman standings for me.
Before we get into it, 405 people watching. We appreciate the love. We had a great day today. Great day. Appreciate everyone. Like we're gonna grow the crap out of this channel. We love the live shows that we'll be bringing all season long on the weekends, breaking down all the games. Make sure you check us out during the week too, as we get you ready for the weekend. But hit the like button, hit that subscribe button.
Yes,
continue
please.
to spread the wealth. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, we hit 3K earlier, guys. Fucking right. 3K subs on YouTube. The road to 4K starts now. Thank you to everyone who already subs. You already know how all that shit helps. Today was a really fun day, man. The Colorado reaction was crazy. All right, Heisman standings. After day one, I got Michael Penix Jr. on there, obviously, and I'm not going to rank them in order because I'm just giving you my grouping of the candidates. Michael Penix Jr. on there, certainly. Travis Hunter on there, certainly. Shedeur Sanders on there, certainly. And am I missing anyone from
Caleb Williams?
Yeah, I mean Caleb Williams and Drake May because they already were. Right,
yep.
So they're still in the watch list. Drake May had a couple picks, but it didn't really matter. Gene Chiswick's defense, not bad.
I don't know. Drake ain't gonna be on it this year. They ain't gonna get the wins to do it for him.
You don't even think you go to New York? I mean, dude, they look good tonight, bro. They just smashed South Carolina. I mean, talk about the SEC struggling. The SEC lost. I mean, Florida got their ass kicked by Utah, and North Carolina just beat the shit out of South Carolina.
True. SEC East is just not great.
Nate House is too early to put JJ in the Heisman talk. Go Blue. The Michigan game is a bit of a blind spot for me. Some of the least watching I did of, and I try to watch every single game, keep them all up constantly. But for whatever reason, Michigan kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit. Yeah. So I can't comment on JJ yet. No, Travis Hunter's on there 100%. For me,
I think you have to put all the Pac-12 quarterbacks in there. You have to put all the Pac-12 quarterbacks in there. I mean, if you're a Pac-12 quarterback, I mean, you may have 3 Pac-12 quarterbacks in New York when it's all said and done this year. And unfortunately, someone's going to knock themselves out because of who they play, and that's going to kind of cancel them out. But man, you have 4 legit dudes.
Maine is right though. Zachariah Branch for sure. But then again, I mean, look, I'm kind of sticking to guys that did it in games against teams with a pulse. I would say, like
Sam
doing what Penix
just
did
in general from last week.
Yep, Sam
Sam
Hartman's still
Hartman
on
the past 2 weeks. Yep.
for sure. All right, Aaron, other thoughts from the day. Just this could be anything, right? Like
Yep.
one of mine real quick, nothing to expound on here. Shout out Northern Illinois. They got paid $1.1 million to beat Boston College in overtime, which I always love when the school that you're paying $1 million to come play hands your ass a loss. There's something just beautiful about it.
Big shout out Drew Lar, the
Yes,
5-star
he
everyone's
looked
been
good.
waiting for. Looked good, man. He looked the part. The first touchdown, I was like, ooh, kind of moved around the pocket a little bit. They're the big one, 21 to 29, 3 touchdowns, over 11 yards average. So Penn State, they got the 2 running backs. All of a sudden, you have the passing game going too.
Yeah.
I know I've seen them on a couple people's playoff ballot. But if they beat Ohio State and lose to Michigan, they're 11-1 at the end of the season. They may get their way inside the playoffs.
Yeah. I could see it. I could see it. I mean, it becomes real and whatever. I don't want to play with playoff hypotheticals.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But yes, I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Penn State they did exactly what on the preview show on Thursday. We said, look, the only really interesting part about this game is Penn State going to come out here and smash West Virginia like a team that we think is top 10, maybe top 5 in the country should, and they did, and they absolutely did that. And Alar was really good within said smashing. Also, flip side though, fuck you, Neil Brown. The West Virginia is putting just an awful football product out there right now.
Oh,
I mean, the offense is just so feckless. There's just no threat. They worry you in no way when you're out there. And I know Penn State is a good defense, but it just, I don't know, man. I feel for my West, because West Virginia fans aren't used to this. When they have a losing season this year, it'll be the 3rd year in a row. It'll be the first time they had a streak like that since 76 to 79. Okay, so this is not how West Virginia is supposed to be, and it bums me out for all the Mountaineers out there. Okay, Aaron, one other thing here. I thought, go ahead, yeah.
A&M. I know we touched on a little bit earlier.
Look at us. We're on the same page. That's exactly where I'm about to go.
But this I am. If you watched the show in the past, you know how bullish I am on the Aggies this year because of the fact they finally have a quarterback. They finally have a guy that can get the ball to their weapons. They finally have an offensive coordinator that isn't Jimbo. So that 2 major positives heading into the season. And Connor Wegman looked like the guy that finished last season off. So they got the weapons, man. Anias back. Evan Stewart was tremendous with 2 touchdowns. Noah Thomas had 3 touchdowns. This is a really good football team. A really good football team. A ton of talent. And I know we focus so much on Alabama and LSU. Don't forget, Aggies have beaten both those teams the past 2 seasons. They got the talent to do it.
Yeah. I think I didn't love the A&M defense. I didn't think it was particularly impressive today, but the offense, like I said, man, I'm impressed with Petrino. If for nothing else, then he just kept it very simple. You have the better athletes. You got guys like Evan Stewart, just fucking line him up one-on-one and just bomb it. And they did that, and it kept working. And for the A&M fans, it had to feel like such a weight was lifted off their shoulders after the disaster of last year where they come out against App State and they're like trying to run it on like 3rd and 1 and getting TFL'd and blown up. So A&M had a good day for sure. Let's see other thoughts here. I think, bro, did you watch any Texas?
A little bit.
Because that's another one where if you look at the final score, you're probably like, oh, that was a good game. Oh, no, bro, that was shit. Rice is bad.
Shit.
Rice,
I watched
Rice does not even look like it looks as if a varsity team was playing a junior high team. And yet still Texas struggled for an entire half. Dude, Quinn Ewers, not that guy, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Like, did you watch him today? And you think I
watched about a half.
That guy? So my takeaway was that Texas is still Tex ass. You liked what you saw.
You probably watched Oklahoma beat whoever the hell they beat. Like, Oklahoma's going to beat Texas this year now. Like,
I already thought Oklahoma had a chance to beat Texas. Like, I am not. No. I don't think Texas is that good. No.
Texas still better than everyone in that conference. That defense is good.
Did you watch the game? The offense is garbage. Quinn Ewers does not have it, dude. So what? Okay,
I will
so-
not. I will hold back of talking bad about Texas until after next weekend. That's the make or break. The next
Oh
weekend's
yeah,
the
I
make or
just
break.
want. I know you love to watch film. I just want you to
Next
watch the
weekend.
Texas. I want you to watch the
I will
Texas
watch it.
film.
I will watch it more
and
tomorrow.
Let me know what you think.
Yes.
And let me know what you
I will
think.
watch it more.
Zion says people don't realize that Oregon defense was very suspect last year, and Bo Nix is overrated. What is Oregon doing? Are they playing right now? Oh, also,
No,
I
they
did want to mention
dominate.
this. Emil mentioned, how about the Tulane Greenway beating up on South Alabama 37-17? It's a good South Alabama team, but Michael Pratt, Tulane's quarterback, picking up where he left off last year. Tulane going to be playing Ole Miss next week, and Ole Miss looks strong. Jackson, I mean,
Yeah.
what did Lane hang 70 today?
Dude, Jackson came out hot.
Yes,
Hot.
yes.
I knew that though. I like Dart.
You've been saying that. You've been saying
I
Jackson
like
was going to
Dart.
be good.
I
I would
like
say that
Dart
was
a lot.
validation of your offseason take
I like that.
for
I like
sure.
that. It's a good team. It's a sneaky team.
Ammonia Wild
You know,
says,
what I didn't like though today? You want to talk about a quarterback that did not impress me, sadly, was Devin O'Leary for Kentucky.
so I did not watch
shocked.
any. I did not watch any
See, I
Kentucky
watched
today.
that game and I was shocked.
I'm gonna be
He
so pissed if
kind
y'all
of like some nerves.
I'm gonna be so mad if y'all finally talk to me into Kentucky and they fucking blow it again. Because one of my core rules has always been Kentucky will disappoint you. And you and Jake
Yeah.
finally wore me down. And I'm like, well, Liam Cohen's pretty fucking good, dude. Liam Cohen definitely like they should be good. So get it together, Blue. God. Who'd they play today?
Who did they play? They played a decent team.
Ammonia Wilder says Lamau, he was calling a game where he says Lamau, he was calling a game. He wasn't watching other teams all day, dude. Well, no, he actually was.
I was.
Yeah.
They played Ball State.
Aaron
watches. I get
games.
a lot of work done on a Saturday.
Yes.
My wife got to witness it today with me watching nonstop at all times.
Yeah, poor Sharon thought they were going to go do a little tailgating, and then Colorado started to hit. And next thing you know, they were locked up.
We went on that morning run this morning. We're walking back to the hotel. I was like, you know what? We had some friends invited us to a tailgate. Yeah, I was like, these 3 games, like I just want to watch. Like, I want to watch Kentucky. I want to see what Devin Leary looks like. I want to see what Joe Milton looks like. And obviously, I want to watch the Colorado game. And I was like, they'll all probably be blowouts at halftime. So then we'll go to the tailgate before we head to Sanford. And at halftime, like, we ain't going to the tailgate anymore. Like, if you want to, you can. But these games, at least the Colorado game is too good. I ain't leaving. So
yeah, awesome game, by the way, which I don't think we mentioned, right? Like just a super fun,
really
fun
good
game. Easily the most fun day of the of the game of the day. James Hunter, Shedeur completed 70% last year, but UX was right. That was just HBCU. Exactly. I mean, we talked exactly. I was like, how much is this going to translate over? All of it did. All of it and then some. He set a fucking school record the first game.
I know. First game.
Where was Emil says will a snaps tailgate be a thing this year? There fingers crossed. We have some plans maybe for sometime later this season. Oh, you mentioned somebody that I want to talk about, but this is another one that I haven't watched super closely yet, so I don't have a great take yet. What'd you see out of Joe Milton with what you did get to see? I heard it was a little shaky, but it's one where, again, if you look at the final score, it feels like no.
It was shaky early. He had a couple moments where, like, he had a couple drives where he's like 0 for 3, overthrowing guys. He actually like one hopped one pass at one point. There was still the Joe Milton that wants to put a hole in everyone's chest. And I don't even know if like he's trying to, honestly. I just think that he has such a big arm, he doesn't know how to control it. It's not his fault. It's like, sorry, it just happens. Like he did. When you watch him, it's not like he's muscling it where he's like trying to pull a Hauser out.
Yeah.
He just has a fucking giant arm that just throws fastballs.
No,
it is what it is.
Joe Milton,
it's like a blessing and a curse. It's just a blessing and a curse.
He like goes to like close a door and the bathroom door just like launches off the hinges, or he's like brushing his teeth and just like stabs the mirror. He just can't help it. Dude.
But no, he had some really good moments. I thought it was I give him like, if I'm give him like a grade, I give him like a B- on the day. There was some like, wow, okay, that looks improved. But then there was, like I said, I would say 2 or 3 series in a row where you're like, Joe, calm down, bro. Like,
I will say though, it is we can't lose sight of the fact how, and it's just hitting me again now, how crazy it is that Tennessee is actually this good now. because they were fucking laughing stock. Like a 49-13 beatdown of Virginia to start a season a couple of years ago would have meant a lot to Tennessee fans. And now they're like, well, yes, I think it was good, but there's certainly areas in which it could have been better. Like it's crazy how much hype will just immediately kind of just got the thing going again. Oh, speaking of English accents, how about our boy Robbie Ashford? What do you think about did you see any of the 2 quarterback systems Hugh Freeze is using?
I did not watch that game at all.
Let me
I didn't watch a single minute of Auburn yet.
I mean, it's Auburn UMass, so whatever, right? But the box score is kind of interesting.
UMass is like equivalent to Colorado, though, when it comes to talent. So I mean, there could have been an upset today.
Lugan
Bell.
Oh my God! Bro, Deion responded to Lugan on Instagram, right? So that that's the main guy he's calling out. After Lugan said that,
that's a rough take
in the comments. Deion was like, "How can you say this? You haven't even been here." Remember?
Yeah. Deion, I feel like it's a coach that I do not want to be on his bad side.
Yeah. So look, Peyton Thorne today, 10 of 17, 141 a touchdown. Robbie Ashford 2 of 6, but Robbie Ashford had 9 carries for 3 touchdowns. 9 carries, 51 yards, 3 touchdowns. So they're going full 2 quarterbacks. I don't think it should be great or anything.
As they should. They should.
I don't know what to make of this. Baylor got the shit kicked out of them by Texas State. Is Dave Aranda bad? 42-31, and it wasn't even that close. 42-31. Yeah.
Oof.
I know. That was kind of my reaction as well. Just a big oof. Is there anything else before we get out of here?
That's it. I need to go to bed. End the damn thing.
You want to end it? Okay.
I'm tired.
You did a great job.
I need a shower. I smell bad. I was very sweaty in the booth. It was humid.
You killed the call though, dude. You did really good.
You take a shower.
I was very proud of you. All right, y'all.
Hey, Aaron, what is your thoughts on UGA number 87? Reminds me of the muscle hamster. You're speaking of Mekhi Muse, and Mekhi is a freaking beast. Great kid. And this is something where I'm not going to just say great kid and then say something bad afterwards. He is a great kid. He's a hard worker, and he deserves everything he gets because he's done everything right for the past 2 years. Crushes it on scout team, crushes it on special teams. And then now that he's got his number called, what did he do? He's great on special teams, had the kickoff returns, the punt returns, and then took the little screen pass for a touchdown, had another catch over the middle on a rollout. He's a little baller, bro. He's a baller, and he can play in the backfield too. Like Georgia has some running back issues. You may see Mekhi get in the backfield as well. So it's a hell of a hard worker. Great kid.
Wow. The great kids almost always fall to the butt. Hey, I didn't know this. Texas State's quarterback is TJ Finley. He went 22 with
TJ.
He went 22 with 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Perfect day against Dave Aranda's defense. Okay, I had one more comment. Okay, last one. Emil says Aaron Murray and Boulder under the Deion era would do work. Lock up your girlfriends, folks. Oh my God, I can only imagine the amount of swag that.
How about my play-by-play guy tonight? Said something about this was towards the end of the game. I'm glad Sharon isn't listening, but now she's going to hear it now. He goes something to the effect of like, Aaron, you're like the mayor of Athens. This is like on TV. He's like, yeah, you're like walking around and people are are people sitting on your lap? And I'm like, wait, what? Like, who's sitting on my lap?
Whoa.
I was like, no, Sharon ain't letting anyone sit on my lap. Trust me, that ain't happening. I was like, yeah, where did that comment come? First, he called me Murphy the other day on our first broadcast. Now he's like, calling me out. I'm like,
at that point, that's just like that causes you to have to answer questions that there's just the situation did not exist. It didn't even happen. It didn't even happen.
I know. I was just like, what are we talking about?
He's like, yeah, remember last night that girl?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, my wife that we went to dinner and went to bed.
That's funny, man. Well, okay, look, go get some rest. Huge thank you to Aaron Murray. Called a game on Thursday. Flew back, did snaps Friday morning, called the game at Georgia today, and then did a live react before, put himself in a crazy situation and after. The man. For that, you can like and subscribe, right, guys?
Yes, please like
and then
subscribe.
Google, YouTube, or excuse me, you can just Google Snaps Podcast, find it, Apple, Spotify, rate it, review it. We love you. Huge thank you to Ryan Brumley, our fearless producer, Adam Gracia, Chris Chan, Pat Gunther, Danny Cardenas, putting in the work all throughout the weekend. But the biggest of all, thank you to you guys who are listening and hanging out with you. We love you. And we'll be back with more snaps tomorrow night. Aaron's going to have a very special, I can't be on tomorrow night's postgame because I do LSU postgame, but he's going to have a very special postgame show here if you want to check it out.
Yeah. Post LSU FSU. Come hang out with us tomorrow night.
All right, y'all. We'll see you later. More snaps. Hope you have a great day. Day 1 in the books. Very fun.